it's just not my cup of tea. He's so good that you hate him, and then you remember, why am I hating him so much? He's just an actor. He didn't have to do too much.
Bhavani, guys, this is Beni.
And this is Dhru. And today we are going to react to the trailer of Shanty Town. Now, I have actually seen the first episode of Shanty Town, and I'll share my thoughts with you guys soon. But Beni has not seen it yet, and this will be her first time checking it out. So let's check this out.
Ọ̀dàlẹ̀, balẹ̀ lọ, ẹni bá dalẹ̀, á balẹ̀ lọ.
Can I help you?
Shanty.
It's a big year. Papa carry and come pay money where they Oscar.
Why was it 15 million? Why was it 40 fuck? We're gonna give you 15 million now.
Call me Inem.
Inem, she's returned. They don't release her from Sanko.
You're not supposed to gather this energy. Take and go fight Scar. You will get those men. We will bring them to justice.
What is your impetus, Scar? Is it those girls that suck you? Or is it Chief Fernandez who allows you to run his illegal ventures?
We have a code red. Hey, Lordy! Hey, Bore! While I did for Zanga.
So, first thoughts, what do you think?
All about gangs, and it kind of gave me, gangs of Wasipur is what came to my mind. And it's more about women gangs or women who are exploited by this gangster Scar. And they are kind of taking revenge on him, trying to take revenge on him, and trying to team up to do that. I don't know how successful they will be because, well, it's not necessary that if you have a common enemy, you just are compatible friends. That would be interesting to see how that works out, right? And if you want revenge, then maybe you don't want to share the revenge. That's another thing too.
What
maybe
do you mean?
I want share, meaning if I want to kill a guy, I might take help. But then the killing maybe I want to do. The passion that I saw in these women, it seemed like that, they want to get their hands dirty. And it wouldn't satisfy them.
You bring up a very good point there because, as you said, I've only seen the first episode, right? And it is definitely about women in prostitution. They are Scar's prostitutes, and there's no way to get out of the main character's grip, really. It's like, oh, I owe you 100,000 whatever, right? You're like, okay, I'll pay it off. But then he's like, what about your food? What about the abortions we have had to do for you? What about this? Yeah. So that's a scene, and that's a reality for many people from what we have seen in movies, at least, right? Many women are in those circumstances. But what stood out to me also in this trailer after seeing the first episode is Scar is just a pawn. Like we had the movie Mohara, in which, these Akshay Kumar and Sunil Shetty, there were these two guys who were constantly fighting over various different things, but they were pawns to Nasiruddin Shah's character. And so the main guy they showed, and I wonder if he's a politician running a racket. He looked like a politician, right? He didn't just look like a wealthy guy. That would be interesting to find out. All I would say is, I know this is a trailer reaction, but I after seeing the first episode, it was very well shot. It was very gruesome. They were not shying away from showing brutal stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very, very graphic and could be gory, and the shots of chaos and people getting shot, and it was very real and disturbing and very well made. It's just not my cup of tea, I would say. To be honest, it's not the kind of stuff I watch out of intention. I mean, maybe if we are to react to something, I may watch it, but otherwise, me as Dhru, I would not watch something like that. It's too much for me, you know.
I was gonna say the same thing. Actually, I generally don't go for such things. And like as I mentioned, Gangs of Wasseypur, it's a very renowned thing, but I've never watched it because I don't think I can take that. I mean, it's disturbing. It disturbs my equilibrium. But definitely, it does seem interesting. If you watch it, then I guess if I watch one, maybe I would want to watch more. That's the kind of thing, the kind of vibe I get from this thing. I mean, you don't like the gory things and the chaos and all, but then sometimes it's like you want to know the story, how it develops, and it gives you a taste of reality because it is a reality in the end.
Especially as a woman watching it, right? I don't know who their target audience is for this. There are a few women on our channel who are our subscribers or just viewers. You guys can let us know if you as a woman do enjoy watching something like this. That is a big question for me. For me, I find it very disturbing, extra disturbing, because I was watching it with a guy, right? And when you watch it with another guy, the guy is not so disturbed, and I was way more disturbed than the guy. So it affects different people differently. What do you like about it? We would like to know from both genders, really. And I'm a fan of Nancy. She's one of the main characters. I also want to say Scar. He's so good that you hate him, and then you remember, why am I hating him so much? He's just an actor, which shows you that he's such a brilliant casting choice. He's menacing, he's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do next. He's terrifying. He didn't have to do too much from the first episode only. He's my favorite character. Another thing I loved about this, which you could also see in the trailer, is that this is not just about one person and the story revolving about that one person. In the trailer too, they showed you different Inem was one of them, Scar was one of them, Nancy's character was one of them, the main lady handler of the prostitutes was one of them. There are some prime characters, and all of them from the first episode I could see were very well written. They're not just supporting characters. It's a story about all these people who are black, white, gray, whatever, but it's their story.
This is something that is actually noteworthy and something that should be uploaded. I think it's a really tough job to actually show perspective of so many different people from their own angles. For a writer, I think you kind of have a rapport with that character. The main character. And to continue with that and make that person the hero of the story, whoever the person may be, but you kind of already start imagining that person as the hero of the story. But to write it in this manner where you show various different people and all of their perspectives, and nobody is the only certain person who is highlighted, that I think is great talent.
We had asked Toluwani Obayan this question: does she have this problem as a screenwriter to get attached to a character? And it seemed like she didn't. But from my perspective, even as a reader, right, where there are these books with various characters, I get a personal bias towards one character. Like, for example, you remember Treasure Island was such a fantastic book, and we all got a personal bias for Long John Silver somehow, even though he was not even the main character. So us as consumers of that content, we get personal biases, and as a writer, if that's your natural talent, that's fantastic. And if it's not, and you're doing this, however you're doing this, it's, as you said, it should be applauded, because it's a human tendency to have a natural bias, and I presume it could also be different shades of the same person, meaning we as people are complicated. We have a side that's kind of childish, there's another side which is more responsible. We are different people in one person, right? Like, we are all actors, as Shakespeare said, because we have different personas. And I wonder if writers go deeper within and just isolate each of these personas and give them their own flavors. And their choice of showing goriness, I think if it is based on true events, or if it is like true events, that should be appreciated. Because if you think about it, there is a Vicky Kaushal movie, Sardar Udham, in which they had shown how actually the Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened. So Jallianwala Bagh, if you guys don't know, is like a peace during the British rule. It was a peaceful protest against the Britishers. So it was peaceful, but the Britishers kind of opened fire on peaceful protesters, and many people were assassinated, from 1-year-old children to 90-year-old people, you know. That has been taught to us, and that has been kind of shown, but not to that goriness level. But in that movie, they showed it that way. And it should be shown that way to give justice to why there was such an uproar of vigilantes after that. So it depends on the context of the story. When goriness and all these things are shown, sometimes it's very important to show you that, so that you can understand how it impacted the people involved in that scenario in terms of storytelling. Even you guys can tell me if I should continue watching it. If you guys want us to do a review on each of the episodes, there are only 6, so we can definitely do that as well. All right guys, so if you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. Also, actually like our video if you actually liked it, share it with friends, spread the word, and until next time, Odabo.
Adabo.